Hi, myself Rahul Kumar Ghosh, and I'm recording this video from Kolkata, West Bengal, India. So today we'll be discussing about the introduction to SPSS and common statistical terms that are getting used in SPSS or in any other software or any other statistical software packages. So to be precise, today we'll be discussing about the introduction to the SPSS, the overview of the SPSS for Windows. In the overview part, we'll be discussing the data view, variable view, output views, and the draft views, the different views that we are having in SPSS. Thereafter, we'll come down to the SPSS menu like file, edit, data, analysis, utilities, windows, transform, what are the different sub-menus we are having under those things. Then we'll be going through the basic functions of SPSS like opening an SPSS file, thereafter importing the data or exporting the data or inputting a variable, doing the analysis, all those things. This part will be only a touch up part, not in details, because this is an introduction to SPSS. As we can see, the title is being mentioned over here, that is introduction to SPSS. So, and thereafter I'll be going through some common statistical terms as well. So in the introduction part we have SPSS. So what is SPSS? SPSS is an abbreviation for the statistical package for social science. What does this mean? It is a statistical package through which we can do some sort of statistical analysis for the social science, for the behavioral science, to get an understanding about the social behavior of the society, or to get a social understanding of a society on a particular, say, phenomena, on a particular product, on a particular brand, and after that we can do some kind of managerial implication too. So it is being highly or hugely used for understanding the social behavior in the behavioral science. The latest version of SPSS is 23 or 24, I might say, because 24 is on verge of release and 23 is already being released. But for showing you the hands-on, I will be using version 21. The operating system. The operating system plays an important role for any software, as we know, and it's good that SPSS is currently supporting all the three OSs, that is Windows, Linux, as well as the Macs. There's the Apple one. Other two important thing is that the data export and data import. Data export, data import can also be done from this SPSS software. Let's assume that person X is very much handy, very much comfortable with SPSS software, and person Y is a novice. He or she is not having the software. Let's guess that he or she, that person Y, has not been even heard the SPSS software to exist. So that person is having only Excel. So what happened when person X, who is very much handy with the software SPSS, is inputting some data into the SPSS file, and thereafter he or she need to send that file to the person Y, who is not having the SPSS software. So in that time he need to export the SPSS file to an Excel sheet. So this is an Excel sheet which is getting created, which is getting exported to, the data is getting exported to the Excel sheet. So vice versa is that person Y has prepared some sort of data in Excel sheet, and he or she is sending that file to person X. So the person X is using SPSS statistical software tool, so he or she need to do that in a SPSS thing. So for that you need to import that Excel file into the SPSS thing. So this is the basic function of export and import. We are most commonly knowing these things. Thereafter we come into the overview part. So before starting the overview part, let me start my SPSS thing. Just a sec. Okay, as we can see that I have already pinned down this SPSS thing in my taskbar, so I'm just clicking on it right now to open that. That's version 21 I'm currently using. Cancel it. You can also start SPSS from the all program, and you can go through the IBM SPSS statistics, and you can click on this one. Or else you can directly go to the search program, you can type IBM, you get that, and click on this. Okay, let's move to that. So as we're seeing, the opening an SPSS for the Windows, so we have already opened SPSS for the Windows. Next part is the data view. So this is the data view part, over where we will be seeing data. Next will be coming the variable view. This is the variable, this is a variable view over where we will be writing, we will be mentioning our variable, our different variables for which we will be storing data in that data view. It will be very much comfortable if I explain you with a pre-created data set. Let's say student data set. Okay, so this is the data that we can see. That is the data view. We are having a roll number 1, roll number 2, roll number 3 according to the marks. Subject 1, roll number 1 has got 34 in marks, in subject 1 45, in subject 2 17, subject 3 gender 1 2 3. Let's ignore this part. Let's ignore this part. Just concentrate on this part. That is the data. This is the data part. We are having data. We are having data for whom? We are having data for this variables. As I have said, ignore this 3. So do the same thing, ignore this 3. Just concentrate on this 4 parts. That is roll number, subject 1, subject 2 and subject 3. Now the variable part is very much important. The variable is the definition of a data. So what is the definition of a variable and what are the things we are having in variable, I will be discussing in later on when I will be showing you how to create a variable. Okay, now I need to move to the output view. So what is the output view? I need to do some sort of analysis. I presume that we know what is the frequency. Let's just take it as a roll number. This is a roll number. I'm going to simply using the click it. So this is the output view. As we can see, output 1. This is the output view, right? This is the output view. Now we need to go to the draft view. Now this is the draft view. This is a print preview. We are seeing what we need to get printed. This is a drafting view. These are the different views that we are having in SPSS. Thereafter, let me move on to the next part, which is the menu. This is a file. First of all, we know file is for creating new or opening the existing one. This is a new through which we can open, through which we can create data, syntax, output or the scripts, through which this is the open, through which we can open an existing one, and so more. So it is for opening an existing file, for reading the data from a text file or Excel file, as I have said, as I have already mentioned, that importing or exporting the data. And thereafter we come to the edit part. Edit is for performing basic functions like copy, cut or paste, but it do have two important parts, that is go to case and go to variable. So go to case means go to the case number. Now what is a case number? A case number is this one. This is my first case, which means this is my first respondent. This is my second case, which means this is my second respondent, and so on. After we are having another one, go to variable. What is variable? Now go to variable roll number, variable sub 1, variable sub 2, variable sub 3. As I have mentioned, ignore this 3 right now. Okay, so how does it work? Go to case. So go to case, suppose I say I will go to case, I was having 15 data. So I need to go to case number, say 7. Enter 7 and you can click go or you can simply press enter. So it went to case number 7. As my cursor was pointing, or sorry, as the gender variable was highlighted, was selected, so it went to the case number 7 of gender. Now just cancel this one, place it over here on the roll number part. Now again go to the variable, go to case. It will always give you the current position, current case number. So let's say I will move into the case number 2. So I went to case number 2. So basically this become very much handy when we are using it, when we are having a huge data set, right? And now let's move to the go to the variable. So we can go to the variable also, we can go to the case, and we can go to the variable in from the same window. It was just different options that we are having, case and variable, but the window is same. It just is having a different tabs, case for going to the respondents variable, for going to the variable. We can select it from here. These are the variable lists which will be shown to you. This is a variable, 7 variables we are having: role, sub1, sub2, sub3, gender, average and new. So this is average, gender, new, role, sub1, sub2, sub3. These are alphabetically sorted out. So suppose I'm in a data view and I want to go to the, let's say, average, and we click on it, so it is getting moved to the average column. The average column is getting highlighted in full. Okay, next move to the data. So now this is the data. So data is for describing the variables, inserting the variables or cases, or sorting the cases, and used to identify any duplicate case. The last part of my speech mean identifying a duplicate case is that this is identifying duplicate case. Now suppose in the roll number, as we are seeing, roll number, the roll number is 1 to 15, so it is having 1 to 15. Let's just cancel this one. Let's put 1 over here. And now run the data, go to identify duplicate case, as I've seen that. Okay, so roll number. A roll number is a primary key kind of thing which cannot have a duplicate value, like a phone number, like an email ID, like a SSID. These are the primary things, these are the primary keys which we use to identify anything or any person uniquely, exclusively. So you cannot have a duplicate thing over here, right? So let's just go to the roll number. So roll number, identifying matching cases by roll number. Okay, let's just click OK. Okay, so as we can see, a duplicate case, valid, duplicate case frequency is 1. Let's just ignore this part, percentage, valid percentage or cumulative percentage. I'm not going to do that in total. So let's say a duplicate case is 1, primary case is 14, which means we are having 14 primary values, 14 unique values, and 1 duplicate value. So total is becoming 15. As we can see, there are total 15. The total 15 datas we are having, and it is showing total 15. Only 14 are primary, 1 is duplicate. This is because 1 is duplicate and 1 is duplicate. These 2 are duplicate. Remaining are primary, which are non-duplicate. Okay. Now let's move to the transform. So transform is for performing some sort of calculation on the variables and for creating a new variable from the existing one. What does that mean? Previously I was saying ignore these 3 parts, right? I'm sorry, one more thing that I missed out from the duplicate identifying cases is that this is 0 and this is a 1, which means you are having true value. 1 mean true, 0 mean false. 1 for go, 0 for let go. So 1 is, well, 1 is good, 1 is true, which is 14 things, 14 datas are 1, which means 14 datas are unique. Only 1 is 0. This one is 0, which means it is a duplicate value. False, let it go off. Okay, as I was describing the transform, so what did I say in the thing, that the creating a new variable? So creating a new variable or calculation on a variable means, suppose this an example of this average thing. Average, it's an average of this 3. It's an average of this 3. So we are doing some sort of calculation on sub1, sub2, sub3, and we are creating a new variable which we named as an average. Now how to do that, I'll be showing you in the later part of this video. Then we move to analysis. I don't want to say much about analysis because it's a quite long menu. If I even going to take a name of each and every menu, if I'm going to read out each name of each and every menu, it will take me nearly 1 hour, I guess. So just ignore this part. It's just for performing statistical analysis, and start from performing descriptive statistics to the testing of hypothesis or linear regression, multilinear regression, all those things. It's quite complex thing. Let's just ignore this part for the beginning. Now move to the graph. This is a graph. So graphs are for generating plots and graphs which can be edited in the chart editor window. So this is a graph that we are having. So it's a chart builder, then graph board template chooser, and legacy dialog. So for the legacy dialog we are having various type of graphs we are having. That's a bar, 3D, line, area, pie, high-low, box plot, scattered, history, histogram, and all those things. So I'm not going into the detail of the graph because I will be creating another video for only graph, because it will be taking me one or two sessions to discuss in details. Next we move to the utilities. So the utilities is for executing a script to display information on the content of the SPSS data file. Remember that we have done some sort of calculation or some sort of output we obtain from the frequency. This one, right, we are getting this one. So it has got a script behind which is running, and that is the reason, and this is due to the script we are getting this output. So script, so how to get the script? So okay, let's go to the analysis. Suppose we are again performing the descriptive one again. Go and go. Same thing, we are going to find out the roll number, frequencies, paste it. So this is the script that we are having. This is the script view which we can say. This is the script view also which we can say. So this is a script that we are having. If we can click on this one, it gets run and we get the same selection and we get the same output. That is a bit higher version of the user who is using to run it from directly script, but for the beginners I would recommend go through the GUI, go with the graphical user interface only. And then we come to the Windows, that is this Windows. Okay, in the Windows, what does Windows show? It shows us to switch between any open windows of SPSS. The windows with a check mark is active one. So these are the three windows that we are having. Remember, we are having a student data, that is a data that we are having, data and the variable window. This one is the syntax. Just now I have shown you how to get the syntax. That is a syntax for a window, syntax part of window. And this one is the output, which is currently on our screen. This is currently on our screen, as we can see output window over here. So it is the output window, and as I have said, the window with a check mark is an active one. So as we can see, a check mark is there in the checkbox of the output 1 within quote is document 1. So this is the currently active window. Okay, now the basic functions. What are the basic functions? Suppose a mandatory one is for creating a data sheet or importing it from the Excel. So currently we are having a data sheet. Let's just cross it. This is a script view. If we remember, this is a script view. I'm crossing it down. We do want to save it, so no. Okay, and now thereafter the first is creating a data sheet in SPSS or importing it from the Excel. So doesn't matter, we are having a data, so we're not going to export it from the Excel. Next is coming the entering data in the SPSS. Suppose, let's just make it correct, that is 15, right? 1 and 5. Let's just make it correct. We are deleting this row. Oh, sorry, delete it. Okay, so I made it 15. Okay, so now I'm entering a new data called 16. That person obtained, say 56, 88, and a bit 63, and his gender is 2. Let's say average. We are not having an average right now because it has already been computed for this 15 variables only. So we are having the average of 15 variables only. For the 16 variable we need to compute it again. So this is, I have shown you how to enter the data. It's so simple. Put the data, you put the original data into the boxes. That's it. Then coding the data in the SPSS. What is coding? This is an SPSS file. Over here we are doing statistical analysis. Over here we are not writing any kind of code like .NET, Java, Python, SQL Server. We are not writing any kind of code. But yes, we are coding a data. Coding and decoding part is there. That is, if we can see, if we remember gender, now what data do we have for gender? For gender we have 1, for gender we have 2. So what does this 1 and 2 mean? In our real life example, do we have 1? What is our gender? Do we say our gender is 1, my gender is 1? No, my gender is 2. We do not say in that way. We say my gender is male, my gender is female. So this male and female part is a qualitative part. It cannot be understood. It cannot be understood by the SPSS. So we need to make it quantified. So for transforming a qualitative data into a quantified data, we need to convert it, we need to code it. So this is the coding part. So gender, we go to the values. See, so male is coded as 1, female is coded as 2. Cancel it, go to data view. We can see the numerical data for gender. We want to see the qualitative data. So click over here. As we can say, A for alphabet for defining the qualitative, 1 defining the digit, defining the quantitative. Click on it. We can see male, we can see female. This is the coding and decoding part. Next comes the saving the SPSS file. We can easily press Ctrl S, or you can go to file and save. It will save the file in SPSS format, or you can go to save as. It will be giving a few options, like you need to save it in a tab delimiter, comma delimiter, Excel. Few other options are also there. As per the requirement, you can save it. And in the variables also, you can choose which variables you want to save. The check boxes are meaning that these variables will get saved. If you want to drop all, so drop all, you select. You can keep all, so keep all, or you can deselect. Suppose we want to deselect the new variable name new, we want to deselect it. You can see the selected 6 of 7 variables. So we can continue and we can save it, but I will not save it right now because I need to show you a few more things. And thereafter, last basic function is to perform the analysis as per the requirement. Okay, so let's move to the common statistical terms. So in order to use any statistical package effectively, there are some common statistical terms that one should know. So it is important that one should understand the meaning of the following terms. The first one is the variables. So the more statistical data analysis involves the study of some hypothetical relationship among the variables. Now what does this hypothetical relationship means? Suppose in the variable, suppose variables sub1 on sub2 and sub3, we are concluding or we are presuming a relationship is there. Suppose that we can go to the sub1. If we keep our cursor on the sub1, it will show us the label. That is the mathematics. This one is the mathematics. Sub2 is for statistics, and sub3 is for operation research. So we can presume that if the marks of a student for sub1, which is mathematics, and sub2, which is statistics, is good, then the marks of sub3, which is operation research, will also be a good. We can presume that. We cannot be assured, we cannot be confirmed, it can only be presumed. So that is why it is known as an hypothetical relationship among the variables. A variable is thus a feature or a characteristic of a person, a place, an object, or a situation which the experimenter wants to explore. A variable includes dissimilar values, as we can see in a roll number. If a roll number is a variable, it is having dissimilar values 1 to 16. Okay, so now variables. So variables are of different kind. The first one is dichotomous. So now what is dichotomous? So dichotomous variable takes only 2 variables, which means 1 and 0. So in this case we can say that this gender is a dichotomous variable because it is taking 1 and 0. If you remember, click on this again and we can see 1 and 0 or 1 and 2 is taking 2 variables, 2 data only, 1 and 2. So we can say that this is a dichotomous variable. Other example could be a marital status, that is married or unmarried. We can code this as married 1 and unmarried 2. Thereafter come the polytomous variable. What is polytomous variable? Polytomous variable can take any number from the set of counting number in arithmetic, which means they have a direct way of measurement. Suppose this sub1 is taking multiple values. For a single variable we are having multiple values, not just two values. So we can say this sub1 is a polytomous variable. The best example is the marks. Another example could be income, profit, the monthly expenditure, and all those things. The next variable could be variables are the quantitative variables. The quantitative variables are controlled in degree, which means they have a direct way of measurement and can take any value from the set of counting numbers. It can be said that most of the quantitative variables are also polytomous variable as well. As I have said, this is a quantitative variable, so one is a quantitative variable. It is depicting the marks of a particular student. It's a quantitative, as well as it is taking many kinds of value, many types of value, sorry, not types, many kinds of value, that is 34, 60, 56, 45. These are numerous type of value, which means they are controlled. They are taking few values but in a controlled manner, in a controlled fashion, and they are also taking a value from a set of counting numbers. So the numbers which can be counted. Thereafter, it's come to the qualitative variable. So the qualitative variables are posed in kinds. What does that mean? The variables are not directly measured, they have an indirect way of measurement. A good example of it could be the brand loyalty. Currently in this data set I'm not having that example of a brand loyalty, but I'm just explaining the brand loyalty thing to make you understand about the qualitative variable. So if we ask a person what is your brand loyalty towards a particular brand, towards a particular product, he or she, that person cannot give you an appropriate number. So that I like 10 brand loyalty for a particular product, or I have 50 brand loyalty for a particular product. That way doesn't work for counting a brand loyalty. So therefore, to measure this thing, we need to devise a procedure which will capture the characteristics, which will be capturing the characteristics relating to the brand loyalty for the product. So for that, we can set a questions or statements and ask her or him to answer in a particular way. And on the basis of the answer, we may construct an index that will represent her brand loyalty. Next come the manifest variable and the latent variable. So both these two goes hands on hands. That is a manifest variable. Manifest variables can be directly measured. Which means they can be referred as a quantitative variable. A good example is income, profit, expenditure. And the latent variables ideal side are the summary of few variables. So among this data set, can we mention which is the manifest variable and which is the latent variable? This is the manifest variable. So can be directly measured. A person got this numbers. What is a latent variable in this data set? It could be a latent variable. It is a summarized value that a particular person or a particular student got this percentage of average in the examination of this three subject. This is the percentage responded one got in examination of this three subject. So to give you a good example of this, again let me explain the brand loyalty in a newer way. That is, when we are framing few statements or questions to measure the brand loyalty, we are collecting the data from that thing. So the answers or the responses which a person is giving to the questions or the statements that we are asking may be quantified, and an index could be worked out from the responses. So in this process, the statements or the questions presented to the respondent are known as the manifest variable, and the index that we obtained becomes the latent variable. Moving to the dummy variable. So what is a dummy variable? So dummy variable are the qualitative variable, and it takes again only two variables such as 0 and 1. It is used to compare two groups when we use cross-sectional data, or the two time periods when we consider the time series data. A good example of it could be, let's assume that we are trying to know the difference between the average salary of male and female employees in an MNC, in a multinational company. So at that time, what happened? We can test the difference between the two groups of male and female using a statistical model. And what will be the model? Let me show you. The model would be something like this. The model would be something like this. So model would be something like this. There is a y equals to a plus b d1, where y is the salary offered, d1 is a dummy variable, where b is the coefficient. So now this d1 will be changing according to the male or female. So for male it will be 1 and for female it will be 0. So the dummy variables can also be used to compare the growth of a variable in two time period across a long period of a time. So I'm just getting into the details of this thing right now, as it is an introduction to SPSS and the statistical terms only. So I'm just letting it go right now. The next term is a quite important one, that is a hypothesis. Let's just cross it. This one. Okay. The hypothesis. A hypothesis is frequently a statistical data analysis test some kind of hypothesis. A hypothesis is thus a temporary assumption among the variables. So as I have hypothesized previously, that is a subject 1 which is mathematics and subject 2 which is statistics. If a person is having good marks in subject 1 and subject 2, the number or the marks in subject 3 will also be good, which will also be higher. This was my hypothesis. A hypothesis has two parts, that is a null hypothesis and an alternative hypothesis. So in this case, the null hypothesis could be subject 1 equals, if the total of sub 1 and sub 2 is good, the sub 3 marks will also be good. And this is my null hypothesis, and the alternative could be the opposite one. Sub 1 and sub 2, the total of sub 1 and sub 2 is good, sub 2 is not getting affected, sub 3 is not getting affected, the marks of sub 3 is not getting affected. To make it more clear, it can be said that the higher, currently we are working in our daily life, we can take a better example for this one too, that the higher work experiences will give a higher salary. So this is my assumption, that if I am having a good work experience, I will be having a good salary. So for this, we need to collect the data and then we need to do the analysis, and based on the analysis result, we need to confirm the hypothesis or we need to negate the hypothesis. There are a few particular characteristics about the hypothesis are there, which are that a hypothesis should be clear and precise. In this particular case, it is quite clear that higher the work experience will give me higher salary. Second is that hypothesis should be capable of being empirically tested. So for this example, higher work experience will give me higher salary. We can empirically get our data. That is, work experience, if we count it in months or if we can count it in year, we will be getting a digit, we will be getting few empirical data. And the salary is obviously an empirical data. The fourth one is that the hypothesis must explain the fact that gave rise to the need of the explanation, which means the hypothesis should be able to explain the fact, to explain the situation which gave rise to the need of the explanation. Suppose that a person is not being able to get a good salary despite of having a good number of work experience. So for that reason we need to get it. We need to test the hypothesis why it's being happening. So this is the meaning of the hypothesis must explain the fact that gave rise to the need of the explanation. Second and the fourth and the last one is that hypothesis should help in the process of generalization of the process of the variable and the relationship. The generalization in the process of the relationship, it should be able to generalize. For this example we can say that if the higher the worker experience, it should give you the higher salary. So in this way we can generalize the behavior of the variable. Next comes the most important part of the variable, that is the dependent and the independent part. So the independent variable has a causal effect upon the dependent variable. And the example that we hypothesized in the last, we could say that the work experience is independent variable while the salary is the dependent variable. This is because the salary is supposed to be depending on the work experience of a respondent. Which means the higher the number of work experience you are having, the higher the amount of salary you will be having. Thereafter, let's come to the scaling part. So nominal scale. We all know what is a nominal scale. It's merely a statement of qualitative, categorical or membership. It is considered to be a weakest level of measurement. For example, we need to measure the gender, that is male or female. We can use a nominal one. Like a nationality, like Indian, British or an American, we can use a nominal scale too over there. So in our data set, if we see, this is the variable view. Let's go. This is the measure which is known as scales, right? Currently for the female it is scale, but we can choose nominal too for the gender part. And thereafter ordinal. Ordinal means this is the data collected from the ranking variables on a given scale. For example, the student's rank in the class used to be an ordinal. So now what is ordinal, I will be showing you in detail with the hands-on thing after this one. There is a drawback with the rank. There is drawback with the ordinal scale. That is, assume that person X in the class is ranked as 10 or ranked as 5, and a person Y is ranked as 25. So it cannot be said that the person X position is 5 times as good of person Y. Person X rank is 5, person Y's rank is 25. So it cannot be said that person X position is 5 times as good as that of person Y, because this statement will make no sense at all. So the ordinal scale have no absolute values, and the real difference between the adjacent ranks may not be equal. So what does it mean by the difference between the two adjacent ranks may not be equal? A person may rank 5, first person may rank 5. Okay, let me show you over here. Suppose, forget about this is a scale, think about it as an ordinal. So a person is ranked as 1, person is ranked as 15, person is ranked as 2. So the difference between these 3 adjacent cells are not same. So this is the meaning of the ordinal scale. Now let's move to the Likert scale. Obviously we are not having a Likert scale over here. We are having ordinal, nominal and scale only. We are not having Likert, but I am calling it as a Likert because I have a reason, which I will be explaining to you. So Likert scale is widely used in behavioral science of research. Likert scale could be of 5 point or 7 point. This scale is often referred to as a summated rating scale. As of a summated rating scale, the sums can also be used to highlight the relative importance of the statements or the variables. So now what does this Likert scale mean? In the previously we have seen that in the ordinal scale we are not being able to diminish all the disadvantages. There was few kind of disadvantages. So the Likert scale is the one of the widely used scale that could be termed as an ordinal scales too, but some researchers categorized it in the interval scale. This is because while choosing a Likert scale, the respondent is simply ranking his answers. Suppose we are ranking that how much good are you in class. Rank it in the scale of 1 to 5. You are ranking it, I am very much good, I am good, I am neutral, I am not so good, I am very much naughty. So this is the ranking part. You are ranking the statements. So the intensity or the commitment of a respondent in choosing a particular score may not be same for all. So due to this, some errors may occur in the process of quantification. It may be said that a very large number, it is assumed that a very large number of observation may help in reducing the errors, and in the process the numbers in the Likert scales may attain the characteristics of an interval scale. So this is the reason why I named it as a Likert scale, not as an interval scale, because when there is an error, there is a myth, or we used to say that increase the number of the data, increase the number of the observation, your error will decrease. So in that way, the Likert scale may attain the characteristics of the interval scales, and this could be the reason for which Likert scale is often categorized as interval scales too. And one more point is that we need to note that both the Likert and the ordinal scales are related to the quantitative variables, while nominal scales are referred to the qualitative variable. Let's just begin with the data set. Now I'm going to show you pretty quickly. I'm going to end this session with a hands-on. Let's just close it. Don't need to save these things. No, close everything. Let's start with the data. So okay, so starting my SPSS once more. Starting at version 20. Cancel it, go to the variable. So we need to show you something with the SPSS thing. So as I have shown you the variable view, go to the variable, name it as say v1. Now what will be its type? So I am going to show you the example of the student thing: roll number, subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, gender, average, and the rank. So first of all, I am storing the roll number, so I am naming it as v1. Why I am naming it as v1? Why not as a roll number? We can write roll number in the naming part, in the name part, but it is commonly said that do not write the full name of a variable in the naming part, because after doing the analysis it may possible that you need to omit some variable, so the time that you have devoted for writing the name of the variable is wasted. So that's why go on a flow, give it a random name, but make sure you remember the name. It should be a logical one, not something like XYZ. It should be a logical one. So v1, roll number, it will be a numeric. So let's click over here. These are the different data types that we are having. Okay, with is for 8. It will be taking the 8 characters, and decimal places 2, which means there will be a 2 digits or 2 numbers after the decimal. Cancel it. So it's the width from here also increasing, decreasing. Decimal is also increasing, decreasing. Now label, over here we can write roll number. Sorry. It's v1. It's going to be a roll number. Okay, so this is a label which will be defining my variable v1. Values, I'm not having any values. This is the coding part, I'm discussing it, I will be coming to it. But for values, I'm not having any values. Missing, no values. Alignment is for left, right, center, where you want your data to be present. Measure, it will be of scale. Why it will be of scale? Because we need to quantify it. Next I'll be coming to the sub 1. Next go to sub 2. Let's go to sub 3. I'm just making it quick. Sub 1, sub 2, sub 3 again will be a numeric one, and I'm giving it a width of, it cannot be more than 100, and so I'm making it 3, because 3 will give me 100. There are 3 digits, so I'm making it 3. It will be numeric, so it will be numeric. And it may be decimal. Might be possible someone got a marks of 59.50. So that is the thing. It's for math, it's for stat, it's for say science. Values, no values, no missing, no column. It will be of scale. Now I need to enter the say the gender, so the sex. Okay, sex, I'm giving it again numeric. I'm reducing it to 1. Sorry. Now I'm reducing it to 1. Why I am reducing it to 1? Because in sex we will be storing female or male. So female, female, it's of 6 letters. I need to be at least 6. I need to put 6 over here, right? But I won't. And decimal, sorry, it will be of numeric. Obviously it will be of numeric because I will be coding it. I will be coding values over here. Remember I said coding and decoding part. This is a coding part. So value will be 1 for female, as currently we are going through an woman empowerment era. So put it as 1, and 2 for female. So ladies first, add it. Okay. And now decrease it. And now width will be 1. Okay. And this is for gender of students. Okay, we can set it for nominal. Remember we have said the gender, marital status, all those things can be stored as a nominal data. This will be the nominal one. Okay, now quickly quickly enter some data. That is v1 is for our roll number. We can see v1 is for roll number or what. If we put our cursor on the v1 thing over here, it is showing roll number. It is highlighted. The tooltip is coming on roll number. So okay, roll number 1, roll number 2, roll number 3, roll number 4, roll number 5, roll number 6, roll number 7, number 8, 9, and 10. Let's just work with 10 data right now. So we need to just make it 0, because we cannot, what's happening? We cannot have any decimal in the roll number, so it will be of 0, and width will be say 100 students, so I am keeping it at 3. Go to the data view again. Subject 1. In subject 1, a person got 55, this person got 43, this got 67, this got 78, this got 33, this got 78, this got 90, this got 67, this got 23, this got 56. Now for sub 1, this person got 76, 66, 55, 88, 99, 42, 45, 40, 34, 39, 23, and 67. This person got 78, 23, 32, 44, 50, 66, 77, 88, 45, 65, and say 55. Okay. Now let's just enter the data of sex. What should we write? This? No, obviously not male, female. It has been said as a numeric. In the data type, we have mentioned sex as numeric. So the sex should be 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. Sorry. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay, we are having our data set ready. So this is a roll number, this is a marks of math, this is a marks of stat, this is a marks of science, this is the sex, which is the gender of the student. So if we are going to click on this, A for alphabet qualitative and 1 for digit quantitative value labels. So this is the thing. Female is for female 1, male 2. If you remember, this is the numbers, this is the number, this is a number, this is the roll number, this is the sex. So now quickly going through the duplicate case I have already shown you. Thereafter finding the on the edit part, we have already shown you the go to case and go to variable thing. I haven't shown you the transform part. So we need to compute a variable. So transform, as I said, we will be using the existing variables to calculate something, and we will be using the existing variable to create a new variable too. Suppose that, go to the arithmetic, go to average. Where's average? Okay, let's just move to the statistical, go to mean, double click over here, delete this too. Now put sub 1 over here. If you can double click over here, it will go over there, or else you can click over here and click over there. So okay, the first one is sub 1, then put a comma, put a comma, sub 2, comma, sub 3, it's gone over there. Now, so what is the mean? Mean is nothing, it's an average. It's an average of the cases. So I'm going to name it as an AVG. Now we're going to press OK. Execute. Let's see what we got. What we have said, using the current or existing variables to calculate something and to create a new variable. So see, over here we are having v1 sub 1 sub 2 sub 3 6. AVG is a new one which got created. It's not having a label. By default SPSS does not provide any label because it's an user it should be provided by the user. So I'm naming it AVG of 3 subjects. AVG of 3 subjects. Okay, it can be, it's a scale already being given by the SPSS by default. So this is the average. This is the average percent. This is the average marks that a person got in this examination for these 3 subjects. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the ranking part. So for the ranking part, go to the transform again. Go to transform. Go to automatic record. Go to automatic record. Now I want rank. I want rank for which one? I want rank for the average. I'm having the roll numbers. I'm having a subject marks for subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, and I am having the average. So I will be ranking these 10 students on based of their average. So average, select the average, go over the variable view, name it. So we are naming it as a ranking. Add, click on the add new name, and I'm just leaving out the option because use the same recording scheme for all variables because I will be using it only once, so no need to check it. Treat the blank strings value as a user missing. So as we can see in the variable average, we are not having any missing variable, so we can exempt that. Click OK. So as we can see, so the average into the rank, average into ranking is of average of 3 subjects, which is the data label that we have for the average. This is the old value, these are new values, this is the rankings, and this is the value levels. So a new variable also got created, that is this ranking. Now as we have chosen the rank for this average, we can see that the label of this average and label of this variable ranking is same. We can always change it, that is rank of the students. Okay, we can see the scale is already been given as nominal. The scale is nominal over here. Thereafter the values, let's see what we have in values. We have 10 different values, mean it has already been coded by the SPSS. For 37, a person who got 37 will be ranked as 1. A person who got 44 will be ranked as 2, because I have chosen the ranking system from ascending to descending. That's why it's been ranked in this way. Although you can choose a different option also, descending to ascending, so it will be ranked in the opposite way. So click OK. So what data do we have? We have this data. Code it. So okay. Now let's see. So person. Okay, we can see the 70 is the highest one. 70 is the highest one. 70 is the highest average of among these 10 students. So this is ranked as 10. As because I have chosen the ascending to descending, not descending to ascending, so it's been ranked as 10. The lowest number is 37. This is ranked as 1. So for the better understanding, again I am transforming it and automatically code from highest to lowest. You can see this is the lowest value, this is the highest value. So now if I change it, so it will be, let's see, it comes. Okay, so it won't be existing because there's already a command is there, already variable is there, and delete it. Okay, click on it, clear it, go to transform, automatic record. This is the highest value, this ranking is already created, and use okay. So now it got changed. So thing will be same. The average again I need to change it because I recreated it. Rank of students. Okay. The data view we can see the 70 was highest. It should be ranked 1. So now it is ranked 1 because I have chosen highest, which means in the descending order. Previously by mistaken I chose the lowest one, which means the ascending one, so the result was in the opposite. So right now it's the correct way. That is the 70 is 1, means rank 1. The 2 is 69.67. 37 in the previously 37 was having 1 because by mistaken I chose the lowest one, which means ascending. Now it is correct that 37 is 10, means 37, then the respondent number 9 is ranked 10th in the class. Okay, So that will be all for today's session. I hope you learned something new, and I hope you'll be sharing your comments and suggestions in the video in the comment options. So today I'm closing my session over here. I do have a presentation for this. I do have a PPT for this presentation ready, but I'm not sharing it because once I heard from a novel person that sharing of a PPT to the students or to the viewers make viewers or the students lazier, and it increases the pressure of the keyboard in Control X and Control Y and Control C, Control Z thing, all those things. So the copy paste thing goes higher. So that's why I'm not currently sharing the PPTs with you, but if you want, you can mail me because you are having my mail ID. This is my mail ID. This is my mail ID. You can easily mail me. You can give a reference of this video, and I will definitely look after that. So, thank you very much.